Good evening, folks, and welcome to Live from the Underground. My name is Jamie Gage, your host, along with Vincent Freeman and Babs Mills. It is July 28th, 2022, and we are very excited to continue our third season here in week 2 with an amazing young performer, songwriter, and musician extraordinaire, Fern Maddie.
Sally, my dearest, you ought be kissing. Oh, Sally, my dearest, you ought be kissing. She smiled and replied, you don't know what you're missing. Blackbirds and thrushes. Oh, if young maids could sing like the blackbirds and thrushes, how many young men would go beating the bushes? Ducks on the water. Oh, all the young maids were ducks on the water. How many young men would undress and dive under? Were hares on the mountain. How many young men would take guns and go hunting? Oh, Sally, my dear, I wish I could wed you. Oh, Sally, my dear, I wish I could bed you. She smiled and replied, then you'd say I misled you.
Live from the underground here at 24 Pleasant Street in Randolph with Fern Maddie with Hairs on the Mountain from her new album Ghost Story, a somewhat famous traditional tune. Talk to that song a little bit and how you settled on putting that on the album. Mostly originals on the album, but you've got a couple covers. And how did you land on that one?
Yeah, so I used to play a song a while back. It's not really in my repertoire anymore, but it's a song called Rock, Salt, and Nails by, originally written, well, it wasn't written by Utah Phillips. It was? No, I thought it wasn't. Okay, sorry, having a little debate here. If
anyone wants to Google that, they're free to do that online. And
well, I think I heard a story where he said that he actually learned it from a different songwriter, and he popularized it. And in this song, it's not Hairs on the Mountain, but it has a verse at the end where he talks about if the ladies were blackbirds, if the ladies were thrushes, I'd lay out for hours in the cold, chilly marshes. And if the ladies were squirrels with high, bushy tails, I'd fill up my shotgun with rock, salt, and nails. So, like, when I would perform that song, I really liked the song, but I would always, like, feel a little bit hard about that part of it. Like, it's a real visceral emotion, and I appreciate that, but, you know, there's, like, a lot of gendered violence in that, and it wasn't till later that I figured out that, you know, this was kind of a motif that was taken from a traditional song that we know as Hairs on the Mountain. And often, when Hairs on the Mountain is performed, it's actually about women hunting men. And it's kind of like framed as like a jaunty courtship song. But I always had this feeling about it of like, that it was about violence and it was about anger and kind of certain kind of relational violence that can happen to people because of that anger. So I developed Hairs on the Mountain for banjo at first and started playing that a lot. And then when it was time to record the album, I rearranged it for guitar and I landed on this version that was kind of a mix of both. So, you know, women hunting men, men hunting women. And I think I've arranged it in a way that tells the story that I want to tell, but is using what is there in the traditional record, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and you have one verse about sheep that is native to you.
Yes.
And where does that? Maybe you could repeat the refrain on that, or the verse.
Yeah, it's if all the young men were sheep in the meadow, how many young maids would be burning the tallow? And I think I did just want to like make it a little bit more violent in that context. Like, I guess you could interpret the other verses as flirtation. I personally don't, but you could. Whereas that one, like, is very much about murder.
You wanted to cut to the core. Yeah. We talked earlier a little bit about another performer that was here and that's sort of blowing up on the Vermont scene in a kind of a blues rock genre. She's writing reverse murder ballads, and Sarah King, and she very much like what you've got here, and the first opening track on Ghost Story also kind of is a wonderful. God, I love that song. I hope you play it. I don't know if you're going to. We can talk about that later, But, well, fantastic, and so glad you're here. Coming down from Worcester, Vermont. You just got an amazing review in The Guardian of England newspaper, reviewed 5 out of 5 stars. Album of the month for July 2022. What a whirlwind, what a great thing that is.
Thank you. Yeah.
And
really
a European tour is following, I hear. Maybe we can talk about that in a minute.
Still not quite official, but yeah.
All right, we'll keep that under wraps. I'm going to shut up and let you continue.
No worries at all. I'm just changing out my instrument.
Yeah, we are live from the underground here with Fern Maddie. We're going from acoustic guitar to banjo, and later we'll hear a little bouzouki. So that's what the gap here is.
This is another traditional English folk song called "Don't You Go A-Rushing." Rushing now, maids in May. Don't you go rushing now, maids, I say. For if you go rushing, they're sure to get you blushing and steal your rushes away. Oh, I went rushing, it was in May. I went rushing now, maids, I say. Rushing, they got me a blushing, they stole my rushes away. So don't you go rushing now, maids in May. Don't you go rushing now, maids, I say. For if you go rushing, they're sure to get you blushing and steal your rushes away.
Thank you. Don't you go rushing Maisie May? Maisie May?
Maids in May.
Maids in May.
In the month
I'm sorry.
of May. No, it's fine.
You have another tune on your album with a May, Dorothy May?
Dorothy May, yes. Yeah. I'll play that one later.
So I think I was conflating the two.
There's lots of maids. There's lots of May in folk songs. There's two things. Very popular topics for discussion.
Yeah, certainly. You love British and Scottish and Irish traditional music. And boy, you are a devotee and an accolade, like a representative of that. We talked just a minute ago about what might come. We won't talk about that because who knows? But talk about your influences and how you started to love that particular kind of music.
Yeah. So So I grew up in a pretty musical family, but not in the folk kind of way. My dad was a classical composer, and he also wrote show tunes. He wrote musicals, and I performed in lots of musicals growing up. But when I was a teenager, I just kind of started discovering folk music. Mostly Irish fiddle music was like my first love, and I took the fiddle and I tried to be an Irish fiddler, and dang, it is hard. So it's not where I ended up finding my niche. But that was kind of my entry into the world. And so my dad was this kind of wonderful musician, and he passed away about 10 years ago. And it was only really after that I devoted myself to music, and I don't know, however you make sense of that all. For me, there felt like there was some transfer, some transition that kind of enlivened my love of music after he died. And that's when I started picking up the banjo. So the banjo, for those who don't know, is an African instrument, a West African instrument. It came to be in the form that we know it today, specifically because of the enslavement of African peoples in the United States. And that history is often kind of concealed in its culture, but there's been a lot of reclaiming of that. So clawhammer banjo, which is what I was just playing, that is a traditional West African style of playing this kind of stringed instrument. And that's often associated with Appalachian music. So I started learning a lot of Appalachian clawhammer tunes, and eventually kind of merged that into this older love that I had of Irish and English and Scottish folk music. And so I think that's kind of where you find the specific sound I'm working from.
Yeah, that genre blending, that is wonderful. You also talked a few minutes ago, we'll talk later maybe about some of the current stuff coming out of Ireland as well, but thanks for the history lesson too, because Appalachian music, and the banjo specifically, is typically believed to be maybe more of a white,
like white hillbilly culture kind of instrument. Yeah.
And it's great for listeners to know that it actually did come out of West Africa, and it's being reappropriated now. Some of my heroes, I don't know if Rhiannon Giddens plays banjo, but she does, right?
Yeah.
And some of the sounds that are coming. Otis Taylor was another person who blended genres with blues and kind of a trance blues. And I don't know if he played a lot of banjo in that. I think he did, but there's a lot of really wonderful new sounds coming out. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let you go.
Yeah.
I have another one.
This is an original song, so the first two were traditional. The next two are written by me.
Live from the underground here with Fern Maddie. That was beautiful. Thank you. Red Sun, another traditional song.
No,
or
original.
That's an original
Yeah, yeah.
song. I didn't know if I heard that right when you, okay.
It's not been recorded yet, so.
You ever been so tired you can't sleep? Talk about the evolution of that song.
It's pretty new. I wrote it actually like just as my album was coming out, which is not, so my album came out on June 1st. I don't know, there's like, I feel like there's a lot of like advice about like linearity in the music industry, like you write your songs, then you record them, then you promote them, release them, then you promote them. But yeah, obviously that's not how it works. So in the middle of this like massive period when I was supposed to be like doing promotion and marketing and all this stuff, I was so ready for new material. I was so ready to just be done with those songs that I'd been working on for a year. So this song came out of it. And yeah, I think it's a mix of my personal kind of feelings and struggles in my day-to-day life. And I don't know, I like to write in a way, sometimes I write in a very literal way, but I also like to write in an abstract way sometimes. So that was, I don't know, my feelings about the end of the world as we know it, which I think we've all been dealing with for the last few years. Some of those went into that song.
Yeah, and that's a good segue. And at the end there, I thought I heard Raisin, and then I listened again, and it was Red Sun again, but I thought you had turned it on its ear at the end. And maybe you did say Raisin, but I don't think you did, right?
Raisin?
Right.
Red Sun.
Right. No, I knew it was
Raisin.
Red Sun, but then I thought maybe, anyway, that wasn't the case. But I think I went there because I was gleaning where you were thematically going, maybe.
No, I get this feedback all the time that my enunciation is not good when I sing. So you're not the only person who has this problem with my lyrics. So yeah, no worries at all. It's something I need to work on.
Well, I was extrapolating on some of the previous lyrics too, and thinking, well, I sort of, I think intuitively or subconsciously got where you were going with that. Talk to your influences. We talked a little bit about Irish music right now with an edge.
Yeah. Which, this is kind of, I've been playing my like sweet twinkly banjo music. The next song's going to be a sweet twinkly banjo music song, but then we'll get back to the kind of darker stuff. But yeah, I was telling Jamie that a lot of what I find coming out of the folk world right now, a lot in Ireland, also in England and Scotland, but I definitely have a lot of love for Irish folk musicians, is like, it feels to me like a new folk renaissance or like a new folk revival. You know, like there was a big folk revival in the 50s and the 60s, and this feels like a new one, but there's a lot more kind of a darker edge to it. It's not like folk punk, which is its own thing, but it has a little bit of that ethos. So, yeah, kind of like leaning into the murder ballads, leaning into kind of the heavy drone feeling that you get with these like old sounds and these old instruments. So yeah, like some of my favorite bands right now are like Lankum and Ye Vagabonds, who are also, they do also do very sweet stuff too, but they also do some darker tunes too. And I think that you can see a lot of that in my music.
Contextual with the state of the world too, and kind of taking where, you know, it's representative of what's going on.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, I'll have you let you go.
So this next one is from my first EP. My first EP was called North Branch River, and this is called North Branch River.
North Branch River. We're live from the underground here with Fern Maddie, and that song was North Branch River. I know that just because I played it a lot on my radio show for a couple of years. Beautiful song off her first album. This latest album, Ghost Story, go out and get it. It's got an amazing 5 out of 5 stars from the Guardian newspaper in England, and is just a tremendous album. And I know you're coming from Worcester, Vermont, and we'll talk about other tour dates at the end of your set, but I'm just gonna let you play out and let all you folks enjoy it. If you have any questions online that you want to ask Fern, we'll try to address them, but we'll see you at the end of the set. Thanks, Fern.
Thank you. This is a Greek bouzouki that I'm gonna play. Traditional Greek instrument. Another thing that kind of came to me through Irish folk, because in the first folk revival in the 60s and whatnot, a lot of the Irish folk musicians adopted the Greek bouzouki into Irish traditional music. They flattened the back to make it a little bit easier to hold, but I do not have a flattened back one. I have a round back one, which makes for a slightly adventurous playing experience. But it's got a really nice sound. It's kind of like, for those who aren't here, it's like a long-necked mandolin, kind of, with 4 courses of double strings. And this is a traditional tune called My Johnny Was a Shoemaker. And it's about the historical practice of naval impressment, in which I think in this case, it's safe to say they're talking about the British Navy, would essentially kidnap young men, eligible young men, and force them to serve in the Navy. Johnny was a shoemaker. His jacket was a deep sky blue, curly was his hair. His jacket was a deep sky blue. What does that do? Glad you reef the topsails. Yeah, he's gone to sail across the sea, across the briny sea. My Johnny was a shoemaker. One day you'll be a captain bold, a brave and a gallant crew. One day you'll be a captain bold, with a sword and a spade. instrumental tune next. This is one off the new record. It's like an original instrumental that I wrote. It's called Wool Gathering and Under Snow. Whoops, let's start that again. Bazooki is done for the night. I was telling Jamie before, I used to do a bunch of retuning during my sets because I play in a lot of open keys on the banjo and the guitar, and that's kind of just how you play the banjo, is in open keys. But I just found that it meant that my banjo never sounded good because I was never letting the banjo hit its sweet spot. So I have this carefully engineered system where I only have to retune once for the banjo and once for the guitar, and hopefully it won't sound too bad. So no retuning yet, but just wanted to warn you about that. No, that is what I need. Okay, so the next two are also going to be traditional folk songs that I really love. This first one is not on the album, it's just a song I like to play, and it's another kind of historical justice kind of song. It's about the practice of penal transportation. So this is an English folk song, so it's talking about the transportation of English prisoners, probably to Australia. Well, it's goodbye, my darling. It won't be for long. Maybe for years, not forever. And it's I'm going away, love, for 7 long years. But I would think of my darling forever. Yes, I'm going away, love, to see the old castle with a drink in my hand and a gal on my knee. But if I could maintain you 7 years more, then I think of my darling forever. Oh, England, I won't see you more, 'cause I'm worn out with fever, cast out at death's door. But if I could just live to see 7 years more, then I would think of my darling forever. Now the wardens, they stand with their whips in their hands, just to see us poor convicts go plowing the land. And you hard judges, how cruel you be. You have sent us away to Warden's Row, to Warden's Row. For a lifetime to go. But if I could just live for 7 years more, then I would think of my darling forever. So it's goodbye, my darling. It won't be for long, though it may be for years, not forever. place I'm going away, love, for 7 long years. But I would think of my darling forever. Thank you. It's really nice to have all you here, and it's really nice to have this like listening room. I was telling Jamie, you know, I've just been playing a lot of bars and stuff, and I love playing bars, it's nice, but this is a totally different vibe, and I'm really grateful to Vincent for having this whole venue here. It's really great stuff you've got going on. So I've got one more in this first part of the set. And this is, Jamie mentioned this one before. This is the first song on Ghost Story. It is once again a traditional tune, traditional song. I really do love them. And it's called The Maid on the Shore.
She sat on the shore, let the wind blow high, blow low, oh, oh. No one could she find to comfort her mind as she sat all alone on the shore. There was a bold captain, he sailed on the sea, let the wind blow high, blow low, oh, oh. I'll die, the captain did cry, if I can't have that maid on the shore. The captain had silver, the captain had gold, let the wind blow high, blow low, oh, oh. This he would give to his jolly ship's crew if they bring him a maid from the shore. So slowly, oh slowly she came up on board, let the wind blow high, blow low. He seated her down in the cabin below, due to all sorrow and woe. She seated herself in the bow of the ship, let the wind blow high, blow low. She sang so sweet, gentle and complete that she sang all the seamen asleep. She sang all the seamen asleep. Oh, oh. Silver part took of their gold, let the wind blow high, blow low. She took a broadsword to make her an oar as she paddled her back to the shore. Your men must be foolish, your men must be mad, let the wind blow high, blow low. I deluded them all as well as yourself, and again I'm a maid on the shore. Again I'm a maid on the shore. Again I'm a maid on the shore. Again I'm a maid on the shore.
Live from the underground, Fern Maddie. Made on the Shore. Mm-hmm. Opening track on Ghost Story. Album of the month for The Guardian out of the UK. And big things are coming. What a beautiful song. Thank you so much for that. That is a traditional tune. Mm-hmm. Anything different about it that you have brought to it?
Well, so the lyrics are pretty much word for word from the traditional record. Like, I learned the lyrics from the singing of the John Renbourn Group, which is like a, traditional English nerd band from the 60s and 70s. But the tune, like that tune and those chords, like that chord progression, that's just my tune. I just wrote a tune for it. Yeah. But the song itself is traditional.
Carries so well. The men are fooled on the ship.
Yeah.
They go right into the rocks, I guess, or whatever it may be, if it's a spirit or if a real embodiment of a person. But it's a second tune in, at least a second tune that involved a ship. The other song that you played about right before it. Oh,
My Johnny Was a Shoemaker, the naval one.
Well, there's that, and then there was also the one where with the folks going to the
Australia.
Australia, right? Or is that the same?
No, two different songs, two different historical injustices.
Right.
Yes.
So social justice, looking at social justice through the prism of history.
That's what I try to do. Yeah. And also, like, I think it's in using stories that may have been relevant to, like, my own ancestors, and not that I think that we can only tell the stories of our ancestors. I think that's a really myopic way to think about storytelling and culture. But in terms of bringing folk tradition forward, it feels resonant to me to work in that way, as opposed to kind of like cherry picking from cultures that I maybe have less of a relationship to. Not that I played the banjo, so it's all a wash, but yeah.
There's a continuum of past, present, and future.
Exactly, it's all relevant. Yeah.
Right, and I feel like those songs with transport, the ocean meeting the land is a big theme in your work. These transitions, a lot of people, say right now in world history we're going through some huge transitions as well.
It's true. Yeah. I find a lot of solace isn't the right word. I find a lot of interest, a lot of energy by looking into the past as a way to, like, inform my own pain, like my experience of my own pain and my experience of my own hardships, and understanding those in a context that's bigger than me. I don't know if that makes sense, but
it totally does. Bringing the context out so you can see the bigger picture, both maybe globally and historically globally, kind of gives us a little piece in the kind of craziness of today. So
yes.
Thank you so much, and thanks for remarking on the fact that we have a listening room. That is the name of this room, here live from the underground in Randolph. We're so happy that you came down from Worcester, looking for more big things. We have merch out in the lobby, and your website is
FernMaddieMusic.com.
FernMaddieMusic.com.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes, and you can find me on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. There's a like full-length official music video for the song "Hairs on the Mountain," which I'm pretty proud of. Me and my partner made. I think it's pretty cool. You should check it out.
Yeah, I just signed up for a booklet
that
I'm looking forward to reading, and I think people are getting back to that, the narratives and whatnot. This is being broadcast on WCVR 100.1 here in Randolph and in environs. And we're going to be going into a second set, thank you, with the listeners here. If you're not already here, get down here, and we'll see you soon. I'm Jamie Gage, live from the Underground. Thank you, Fern.
Thank you. This is my second set, live from the Underground. It's a traditional tune called Home with the Girls in the Morning. Let you decide what that means. I don't know. No, down. As promised, my single retune. My single banjo retune. There's going to be a massive guitar retune later. Checking I remembered my chords. Okay. You muses assist me. No one can resist me except for the young man that I do adore. Now all others they grieve me. He's the young man who could please me. He'll be my
his cheeks like the red blood just dropped in the snow. He is neat, tall, and slender, with his hands warm and tender. He'll be my greenwood laddie, who will always adore. My parents, my darling, they slight you with scorn, for you had no riches all wrapped up in store. But the more that they slight you, the more I'd invite you to be my greenwood laddie, till time is no more. It was in yonder bower I spent many the long hour, plucking wallflowers in his company. It was his stolen kisses gave to me my heart's wishes to have that greenwood laddie wherever he be. So musings assist me, no one can resist me, except for the young man that I do adore. While others they grieve me, he's the young man who please me. He'll be my greenwood laddie, who always adore. Thank you. That was also a traditional folk song. There's a good spell of originals coming up. Yeah. This is another song off of the new album, Ghost Story. It's called Unmarked. And I think I want my capo. Just leave me in the ground. I'm not trying to get lost, and I don't care if I'm found. Don't leave, don't stay. I didn't know you were coming. You're not real and you're not fake. You're just a singing something. You're just singing something. You're just telling ghost stories. Take off that winded skin. It'll put you back together. Don't let that story in. It doesn't know you any better. Don't leave, don't stay, don't singing someone. You're just telling ghost stories. You're just telling ghost stories. You're just telling ghost stories. And I'm just singing. And I'm just singing along. Hey, little darling, if you were mine, I wouldn't have any more reason to fight. I wouldn't have any more reason to steal. Wouldn't end up on that Catherine wheel. Wouldn't end up on that Catherine wheel. Hey, little darling, if I were yours, be all the same reason to go the same course. Be all the same reason to say the same way. Love won't get you another day. Love won't get you another day. Hey, little darling, if you were mine, I think it would make the whole world fine. I think it would set the whole world straight. Wouldn't end up on that gibbet gate. Wouldn't end up on that gibbet gate. Hey, little darling, if I were yours, the whole damn world will come through those doors. The whole damn world will come to our bed. Take no rest till they had our heads. Take no rest till they had our heads. Hey, little darling, if you were mine, I think I've done just one thing right. I think I've done just one thing good. Loving you the best I could. Loving you the best I could. the same course. The story would still have the same old end. So let's keep fighting while we can. Let's keep fighting while we can. Thank you. Apparently, I don't think that there's enough like tragic historical love ballads about old-timey times, so I write more of them because I just like the genre, I guess. All right, as threatened, I have a pretty epic retune. So I was talking a little bit before about clawhammer banjo, which is a specific style of playing where you know, it's also called frailing, where you hit the strings with the nail of your finger and then make kind of like a droning noise with your thumb. And that kind of, for that to work, it has to, the instrument has to be tuned kind of to itself. It has to be tuned to a open sort of sound so that, you know, you're not fretting every single string every time. You're just letting the drone carry itself in the song. So I really love that style of playing, and this is why I can't retune and talk at the same time, because I've totally lost what I'm doing. I really love that style of playing, and because I played the guitar when I was young, but I kind of really came back to music on the banjo, and so I just got kind of spoiled on that style of playing, and now I've started playing my guitar like that as well. So tuning it to open keys so I can play very dark, dismal songs. And my favorite dark, dismal key is the key of G minor. So because it's such a pain in the bum to retune so much, and because I only have one guitar, I'm just gonna play a bunch of minor songs back to back. Hope you're okay with that. So this is another exercise in historical storytelling from Ghost Story. So I wrote this song, but kind of like about a historical moment, and it was kind of inspired by the worldview and the stories of the Puritans who came over and colonized this place, and kind of the tragedy of their worldview and the ways in which it was deeply broken. So it's called Dorothy May, and it's about a woman, a real woman who was on the Mayflower who died. And some people think that she might have killed herself before the Mayflower made it to this continent. So sorry, really, cheerful themes here. I promised dark, and here it comes. Why am I forgetting? I'm totally forgetting my chord right now. Did I just not tune this right? Is that the problem? No. Every time was calling. I'm so sorry. This is so embarrassing. It's open. It's an open chord. That's why. There's no fretting. Okay, I'm ready. Their time.
No, still not there. Okay.
Their time was coming. Their kingdom was nigh. They went running towards the sky. She reads the good words. She sings the rhymes. She lays a pillow in salt brine, in salt brine. Can you hear the trumpets ringing out? Can you feel the fires raining down? White sage of a full of broken ground. Can you hear the trumpets? Lay me down, sleeping peacefully, or like a bird from a snare I'll be released. Oh, and raise me up, singing joyfully. Oh, in that land I'll with Jehovah be. He minds his linens. Sundays are for black. Their stories God-given. No, they're not going back. No, they can't go back. He applies his blessings. He knows he's been picked. But she's had no message load as it was written, as it was written. Can you hear the trumpets ringing out? Can you feel the fires raining down? White sage of full of broken ground. Can you hear the trumpets? Can you hear the trumpets? Can you hear? Can you hear them now?
had a question.
Mercy.
So this is another unrecorded song. I wrote it in the winter, and I considered recording it for the album, but it was a very good lesson in saying that is enough, and I don't need to throw any more at it, so this one will have to be on the next one. It's called Two-Faced. Setting tables in the dark, striking sticks to make a spark, cutting cakes made out of stone. I was trying to play the part, funny hunger in the heart, thinking I could wear those bones. But I didn't know the story, I couldn't find my way back home. You were sitting close to me, putting all your pageantry, painted face out in your hands, spinning silk from last year's straw, tried to weave without a flaw, leaving breadcrumbs in the sand. But you didn't know the story, you couldn't drive that boat to land. Last time, honey, take a bow for me. Take a bow for the last time, honey, take a bow for me. And maybe I'll let you down for the last time, maybe I'll let you be. Maybe I'll let you down for the last time, maybe I'll let you be. And maybe I'll get it out for the last time, maybe I'll get free. Oh, maybe I'll get it out. It's past time that I got free. That I got free. That I got free. But I don't know the story, I can't tell you how it ends. So you can have all the glory, slips through your hands. But you don't know the story, I'm not sure you even care. So I'll take all the worry, there's enough to spare. So I've just got a couple more, but I promise the last one's very long, so it will fill the rest of the set. No, I'm just kidding. But it is. But before I do that, a little little interlude of something a little bit more cheerful, which I will have to sing a cappella because my guitar is tuned to a minor key. So this is a song that's on my album. I'm going to sing it in a different way than it is on my album. It's a traditional Scottish shepherding ballad. It's called Caw the Owls, and it's like a folk song it's based on a poem that was written by a woman, a female poet, in the 1700s. Her name was Isabel Pagan, and she was like a working class disabled woman who wrote this poem. And it was later put to music, and on my album, I like changed the tune and I added a drum beat, and it's like really funky and crazy, electric piano. But I'm just gonna do it a little bit more simply, a cappella in the original traditional tune. It is sung in a Scots dialect, so there are some words you might not recognize. Caw the owls means like call the ewes, the sheep. So the like first verse is caw the owls to the knowes, and so knowes is like knolls, like the grassy knolls. Like so, call the sheep to the fields, call them where the heather grows, call them where the burnie rows. Burnie is like a stream, and rose means like where it like glides down the hill. And those are mostly the Scots words that are in it. So, caw the owls. There's also another thing that I changed in the song, but you can probably figure out what that is. Caw the owls, oh, to the nose, oh, call them way the heather grows, call them where the burnie rose, oh, my bonny dearie. As I went down the water side, was there I met my shepherd bride. She rode me sweetly in her plaid, and she called me her dearie. Will you go down the water side to see the waves so sweetly glide beneath the hazel spreading wide? The moon, it shines full clearly. You shall have gowns and ribbons and neat calf leather shoes upon your feet, and in my arms you'll lie and you'll sleep, and you will be my dearie. If you but stand to what you've said, I'll go with you, my shepherdess, and you may roam me in your plaid, and I will be your dearie. As waters wimple to the sea, as day breaks in a lift so high, till clay cold death shall blind my eye, you shall be my dearie. So call the owls, oh, to the nose, oh, call them way really, really lovely to I don't know, this room is just really lovely. It's really pleasurable to sing that into this beautiful space. Thank you again for having me. This has been so much fun. I'm really excited to see how this space continues to grow and hopefully come back. If my guitar is slightly out of tune, it's just part of the vibe, okay? This is what you could call a reverse murder ballad.
To the Northland, and there he would marry me. Go and fetch me some of your father's gold and some of your mother's feet and two of the best horses from out your stable door, where they're standing for 30 and 3. So she's mounted her on a milk-white steed, and he on a dapple gray, and they rode till they came to the broad seashore. Was 3 hours before break of day. Oh, light off your milk-white steed and give it unto me, for it's 6 pretty maidens I hear have drowned, and the 7th one surely will be thee. Take off your silken gown and give it unto me, for I think it is too fine and gay to rot all in the salt sea. Oh, if I must take off my silken gown, then turn your back on as you, a naked young woman to see. So he has turned his back on her to watch the leaves so green, and she has grabbed him round the middle so small and tumbled him into the deep. Oh, he swam low and he swam high, and he swam till he came to the side. For one pull your hand, my pretty fair maid, I swear I will make you my bride. Oh, lie there, you false-hearted young man. Oh, lie there and stay of me. For it's 6 pretty maidens, oh, you have drowned, and the 7th one shall not be me. No, the 7th one has drowned thee.
Thank you so much. I'm Fern Maddie. It's been a pleasure to be here with you all tonight. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Vincent. Thank you to the Underground. Y'all are the best.